Hello everyone, welcome to the new lecture on the subject of business communication. We are discussing unit number 2, business letters. So in this second unit, we have talked about meaning and importance of business letter in our previous lecture. We also discussed various qualities or essentials of business letter. Now, in this lecture, we will be talking about the last point that is layout of business letter. So, here we will be ending the second chapter business letter. So, let's begin with the last point layout of business letter. Here in this slide, I have mentioned the universal format of the business letter. That is, whenever we are writing any type of business letter, we should follow this particular format. One by one, we will see all these points which are part of layout of business letter. So first, as you can see, is name and address of the firm. This is the heading of the letter. Name and address is written of the firm which is writing the letter. Then on the left hand side, you can see the contact details are given, that is telephone number and fax number. On the right hand side, email address of the firm and website of the firm. All these things needs to be mentioned. After that, again on the left hand side, you can see reference number. Here you have to give reference number to the letter. It can be number, it can be also word, or it may also include the current year. So combination of this is written as the reference number, and then on the right hand side date of the letter is written. So all these things are part of heading of the letter, that is name and address of the firm, contact detail such as telephone, fax, email, website, and then reference number, and then date. All these things are part of the heading. Once all these things are written, next is you have to write the inside address. Inside address means name and address of the person to whom the letter is to be sent. So there you will have to write the name of the person or designation of the person, and then detailed address of the person to whom you have to send the letter. So this particular section or this particular area is known as inside address. After writing inside address, next you can see is subject. So here you have to write the subject of the letter. For example, you are writing a letter to inquire about XYZ goods. So your subject will be inquiry of XYZ goods. So the purpose of the letter has to be mentioned in brief, or in short, in one sentence you have to write the subject. After subject, next is salutation. As you can see, we have mentioned a common salutation, that is dear sir or madam, or you may write respected sir or madam. So this is way of greeting the reader, that is salutation. After salutation, next is the main part of the letter, that is you start writing the letter. So first is opening part. In the opening paragraph, you may have to give reference of your previous communication. Then comes main part. In the main part, you have to write about the main subject matter of the letter. That is what the letter is about, what you are trying to convey. All these things should be written in main part. And then is the concluding part. In the concluding part or in the last paragraph, you have to write about your expectation, about your hopes from the reader. For example, you may say reply as soon as possible. So that is your expectation from the reader. So in this way, you have to write the opening paragraph, main paragraph, and then concluding paragraph of the letter. Then lastly, you can see on the left hand side enclosure. Enclosure means whatever you have enclosed, with the letter. For example, you may enclose a check for paying for the order, or you may include some receipt. So all these things are enclosure, or you may attach a pamphlet with the letter. So whatever you are attaching with the letter has to be mentioned in the enclosure. Then copy for circulation, so that the same letter has to be circulated to some other person, that has to be mentioned in copy for circulation. And then next is postscript. Postscript is that whatever you have not written in the main script of the letter. Main script means in the main paragraph or concluding paragraph. Whatever you have forgot to mention, you may write it in the postscript. On the right hand side, the last part is complementary clause. In the complementary clause, you have to make your signature, you have to write your name, and you have to mention your designation. So in this way you can complete writing any letter. So whenever you are writing any type of business letter, you have to follow this particular layout. Now one by one I will read out all the details or various parts of the letter. So as I mentioned earlier, first is heading of the letter. The heading of the business letter contains name and address and postal address of the business. It also includes telephone, fax, email, website, and trademark or logo of the business. Second is date. The date is normally written on the right hand side corner after the heading. Date is important for future reference. Some examples of dates are written. Third point in the layout of business letter is reference. It indicates letter number and the department from where the letter is being sent, and it also includes the year. It is useful for future reference. Example 436 oblique HR department oblique 2017-18. Fourth is inside address. This includes name and address of the person to whom letter is to be sent. It is written on the left hand side below the reference number. Letters are addressed to the head of the business by writing their designation. Example is given: to the manager, that is designation, State Bank of India, Gangapur Road, Nasik. Fifth point is subject. It is a statement in brief or statement in short. It indicates the matter to which the letter relates. It helps the reader to know quickly what the letter is about. Examples are given: an inquiry for summer, an order for tiles and marbles. Sixth point is salutation. It is written below the inside address after subject. It is usually followed by a comma. The purpose is to show respect, courtesy, or politeness towards the reader. Example of salutation: respected sir, madam, dear sir or madam. The seventh point in layout of business letter is the body of the letter. This comes after salutation and it can be divided into three parts. So as I mentioned earlier, first is opening part. It is the introductory part of the letter. Here one should mention the source of information or about the previous correspondence. Then comes main part. This part contains main subject matter of the letter. It should contain all the necessary details about the subject. And last is concluding part. It contains hopes or expectation of the writer regarding next step to be taken. It also includes things like thanking you or with warm regards. Next is complimentary clause. It is a way of heading letter politely. For example, yours faithfully, yours sincerely. Number 9 is enclosures. This is required when documents like check, bills, receipt, list, etc. are attached with the letter. Number 9 is enclosure. After that, number 10, copy for circulation. This is required when copies of the letter are also sent to persons apart from the one to whom it is addressed. It is denoted as CC, the chairman, the director, or the secretary. And last is postscript. This is required when the writer wants to add something which is not included in the body of the letter, and it is denoted as PS. For example, in our offer, we provide 2 years warranty. So all these things are part of layout of business letter. Again, you can see this is the particular format for writing any type of business letter. So you have to clearly understand what point or what particular point is about. So here from 1 to last 11 points. All these points are part of layout of business letter. I am sure you must have understood the detailed layout of business letter. Thank you.